Hi Capricorn, welcome to my channel. My name is Kim. Today, Capricorn, you guys got Electric Eel Spirit. Bring your ideas to life, number 24, making a 6. I feel like there's something that you want to do, or there's like this fantasy or this dream that you have, and I feel like that it's always been a dream of yours. Like it's something that you've been sure of your whole life, and you just don't know how to make it, put it actually into the 3D. Or maybe you do know how to, but you haven't been taking steps towards it. Or you have been taking steps towards it and it was actually like wrong. Or how do I explain this? It's like there's this idea I feel like you have. It's kind of giving me like this Ten of Cups vibe. Like you have this idea of this like family, of this home, of everything, like the dog, the home, the kids. Like you have this whole idea. And for some of you, you haven't been able to actually put that into the 3D. Like you've tried, but it just doesn't work out. For others of you, I feel like you have ideas of how you could do it, but you don't take the steps towards it. And I feel like they're trying to tell you with Electric Eel Spirit, like now is the time. And it's not something that happens overnight either. It's something that takes like a long time to like, it takes steps, right? It's not something that like you just do in one day and then you have, your Ten of Cups. No, it's a 10 for a reason, right? The 10 is at the end. But you have to start first with like the 1. And I feel like a cup and I feel like a Ten of Cups vibe. So I feel like there's something that you want. And again, you've always known that you've wanted it. It's always been this idea of yours. But you just, again, you haven't taken the steps to do it. You just think about it and it's like a fantasy or a dream of yours, but you don't actually put any like active work into it. So I feel like this is the time to actually do it. Right? Like that idea or that fantasy that you have, of course, it's not going to go exactly the way you think it's going to go because that's not realistic. But, you take a step towards it and you're getting closer to it as opposed to just sitting there and not doing anything about it. And with the 6, I feel like it has a lot to do with love. Again, like this Ten of Cups vibe, like, you have this idea of something that maybe you're very passionate about or maybe you have a lot of love for. And it's like a simple thing if you just take one step towards it. It can be a small step, but you have to start taking those steps, Capricorn. So that's what I'm getting. If I had to say which sign was best at, executing something, it's Capricorn. Capricorn, you don't have a lazy bone in your body. So this must be something that like might scare you a little bit because I don't see Capricorn as being that sign that's going to be a little bit afraid of something, like to put the work into something. So that's not what's here. It has to be, there's something here that you think, eludes you because it's a fantasy or a dream. But I think it's actually something really possible if you just put one step into it. And I feel like Capricorn, again, with this work ethic, like you have such a good work ethic. Like that's what Capricorns are known for. You're not a lazy person. So honestly, let the fear go away. Like this is all about fear, I guess, at the end of the day. And you have to let that fear leave because there's no way to execute this or have this dream or this fantasy or this passion that you're into if you don't take one step towards it. It could be just researching something. It could literally be talking to someone. It could be like the smallest step. But if you take a small step every single day, you're going to get there. So yeah, Capricorn, let's pull some cards on this. Okay, Capricorn, so if you were into the meditative session and there is an idea that you want to bring to life and you're very passionate about it, take those steps towards doing that. And now I'm gonna say, if this isn't like a three-party type situation or someone being with someone else, there's a triangle here, there's a love triangle here. So if that's not your situation, then you can just get off now because I'm literally gonna be talking about a love triangle for the rest of this read. Okay, so thank you for being here. Anyway, so let's get into this love triangle. We had the Two of Cups with the Six of Cups. So I feel like someone here is reminiscing about how they, about an old relationship, right? They're reminiscing, they miss somebody, and this is their fantasy, right? Because with destiny and abundance, I feel like this is the fantasy. This is the idea that they need to bring to life. And again, I think this Capricorn, I feel like it's a masculine because we have the King of Coins out here. This King of Coins knows that this fantasy that they have, this idea that they have, is a beautiful idea. It's a beautiful dream. It's a beautiful fantasy. Again, but their whole lives is just like, how can I enact this fantasy? How can I have this abundance, this love in my life that I've been dreaming about for my entire life, right? So I see here that a lot of what this person does, I feel like it's this masculine energy, is to go towards this idea. Right? Like a lot of their moves in life is to be moving in this direction. So I do feel like someone has been taking those steps. You know what I mean? This person has been trying to take those steps, but I feel a lot of missteps. So if you're this masculine energy, right? I feel like you've been trying again to get to this fantasy, this 10 of Cups. That's what you want. You want that 10 of Cups. But I think somewhere you got involved with a karmic. And I don't think you thought that was the karmic. I think you thought that was, again, that 10 of Cups person. But now what I'm seeing here is that, like, it's not what you thought it was going to be. So I was like, let me pull energy on the two feminines here, because that's the only way we're going to know what the hell's going on. So we have the Queen of Wands in reverse, and we have the Seneschal upright. So I feel like these are our two feminines. We have the Queen of Wands, that could be an Aries, Leo, Sag. Doesn't necessarily have to be. It could just be the energy of the karmic. And then we have the Seneschal, which could be an earth sign, which is a Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. But again, it's not. It's more of the energy of these two people. I don't think it's the signs of these two people. It's the energy. So one is a karmic, and I feel like one is the true soulmate. But what's going on here? I feel like this masculine is beginning to understand that this is not necessarily what they thought it was going to be, right? With the Magician and the 9 of Cups in reverse with the 4 of Swords. Do you see how someone is trapped? This masculine trapped themselves, but it was through their own manifestations. So this masculine energy was like, okay, I think that this is the person. Again, looking for that 10 of Cups. And I feel like they ignored a lot of the signs of like, this is not the right direction. You know what I mean? And I think it was more of the idea of, I have a fantasy that I want to enact, and I want that, I need that other person. Like the 10 of Cups is a family. So you need, obviously, you need two people, right? So I feel like this masculine energy put themselves in the wrong situation, and now they're realizing that what they manifested is not necessarily bringing them any wish fulfillment. This must have been like some sort of mistake on the masculine's part. But what I'd want to say is, like, there are no mistakes. You could look at it as a mistake, or you could look at it as a learning experience. And I feel like you're learning right now that as good as this person seemed, they weren't necessarily what you wanted, right? Like, you were manifesting something so hard, and you wanted this idea of this 10 of Cups, that I feel like that's what drove you into this relationship. So again, the fantasy is pure, but the way that you tried to go about it, I feel like there's some sort of mix up here. And now you're seeing that you're not in wish fulfillment. Like, you're not where you thought you were going to be. This is not what you thought it was. Now I see, let's go to the other feminine. We have the we have the Seneschal here with the 6 of Cups in reverse, the 9 of Cups, and the 9 of Coins. So I feel like you might have had some sort of breakup with this person, because we have the 2 of Cups in reverse, the 2 of Cups upright, and then the 6 of Cups in reverse. So this is the true soulmate, right? And I feel like you have a lot of love for this person, and now you want to work with this person, but there's something that happened between you and this person that made you think that this wasn't your soulmate. It could have been questioning loyalty, because we have the dog, or something about collaborating with them with the ant. So there's something that went wrong here, and you maybe that's what made you run to this Queen of Wands, right? Because it's like, I'm losing the fantasy, and then you ran to someone else. There's something here that, there's a mix up here, right? But this is the person either that and you had a falling out with, or you haven't met this person yet, but this is the person that's supposed to be in your fantasy. And you're realizing that this Queen of Wands is not a part, this person can't be a part of this fantasy, because this person doesn't, how do I explain it? It's like, you can't just get any, this reminded me of Taurus's read. Like, Taurus was just trying to, like, fill a role, right? So it's like they wanted to be with someone who could, like, give them kids and be their wife. And it wasn't even like about being particular. It was like, I don't care who it is. I just need somebody to fill this role for me, right? And I feel like Capricorn, if you have Taurus in your chart, then maybe this is you who, you just thought that you could have anybody fill the role. But that's not how life works. Like, someone can't just fill a role. It's like, oh yeah, I want a boyfriend, I'll just get anybody to be my boyfriend. Like, it doesn't work like that. And what I'm getting with this is that this is making your ego crush. Like, this is crushing your ego. The realization that the person you were running towards is not necessarily the person that is going to fulfill this heaven on earth for you, right? And unfortunately, I just see someone here who ran in the wrong direction, or kind of thought that people were like interchangeable, or kind of just thought like, again, this person can fulfill a role for me that I need to be played. Again, the Ten of Cups is a family. How do you have a family? You need you need another person, And what I'm getting with this is it has a little bit to do with you also, Capricorn. If this is you, this masculine energy, you have to take some sort of responsibility, because with the Five of Swords in reverse, this is someone who is not being authentic to themselves. And with the Strength card, the Nine of Wands, and the Three of Wands, I feel like what you don't understand is that if you were truly being authentic to your dream, and you are truly being authentic to your fantasies, again, I think you're like, well, I was being authentic to myself because this is my goal. So I had to have, I was trying to find that person to fulfill that role. But what I'm getting with this is like, you can't, if you were really being authentic to yourself and ego wasn't a part of this, like fear. So let's just say you were like, there's some sort of ego or fear attached to this masculine, which made them run to this karmic. And I'm getting that you kind of just let go of yourself. Like, you lost yourself here. You did. Like, you lost yourself here. And now you see that you need to go in a new direction. But there's something here with your ego and fear that kind of catapulted you into the wrong direction. So I would say, like, maybe you needed to heal more before. Let's just say you had a falling out with the true soulmate. You needed to heal more. Or you had to do some healing, because I think you ran in the wrong direction because of like fear or loneliness or some sort of ego, vibe. There's some sort of ego vibe here. But now I feel like the divine kind of planned all this, to be honest. That's what I'm getting. Like, the divine kind of knew this was going to happen, or the divine, they know everything, right? And I feel like this was all a means to crush your ego. Because I feel like ego was a big part of your life, and it was a big problem in your life, even though you might not have seen it as a problem. Your ego was leading you, right? It wasn't your soul leading you. It wasn't love leading you. It wasn't like you were coming from a place of love, or you were coming from a place of like true soul energy. You were coming from a place of fear. You were coming from a place of ego. You were coming from a place of, okay, like, I need to have what I want right now, like kind of like this childish energy here. And that's what I feel like led you in the wrong direction. So I feel like this all happened for a reason, even though you might not understand that. And it was all a means to crush this ego, right? Like, they had to crush your ego. And this is the way it was done. And I think it's unfortunate, because I think that now you're just even more confused than ever. But I think you're actually you're heading in the right direction, Capricorn, if you can understand that the lesson here, it was a way to crush your ego. So you might be going through like a dark night of the soul, or some sort of awakening, or some sort of, reevaluation of yourself. Like, it has to start with yourself. You can't just like blame other people for why things are happening to you, right? You have to think of things happening for you. And if they're not happening for you, or you don't feel good about what's happening, then maybe you have to like, again, reevaluate what took place here. And did this have to do with your ego? Did this have to do with fear? Did this have to do with some part of you that just ran in the wrong direction because you had to have what you needed at that moment and you couldn't wait, or you didn't take any time to heal, and now you're running towards people that are low vibe? Do you know what I'm saying? So, Capricorn, I feel like your goal is to fix the situation, because we have here the Desire card. So, okay, this is what I'm getting. Some of you have already left the karmic and are single, right? Because we have the Page of Swords with the Queen of Wands. So I feel like some of you are broken up with this karmic. The karmic is still very much attached to you with this Page of Swords energy, but they're coming up in reverse twice. So I feel like this karmic, I don't think you're attached to them anymore, and I think some of you're still attached to this karmic, but you're not going to be for much longer, because you're reevaluating everything, and you're like, okay, like, I can't be untrue to myself. Like, this person doesn't fit into this fantasy, this Ten of Cups. right? It doesn't matter how much I try to fit them into it. They don't fit, right? Like this person can't fit. They're not meant to fit. And what I'm getting with this is that you're putting a lot of work and effort into moving into a new direction, into moving perhaps into the relationship that you missed out on. Perhaps it's towards a new person. But I think you now know that to make a 10 of Cups, you truly need a special individual. You like, again, you cannot just, this reminds me of Taurus's read. You can't just, people are not interchangeable. You know, you can't just like swap one shoe for another. Like, it's not like that. This is more complicated than that. With the Two of Wands, I feel you're in the planning stages. So either you're planning to break up with this Queen of Wands because you've lost your desire for them and it's taking you a lot of effort and work to actually get the courage to move away from them or to break up with them. For some of you, if you've already broken up with them, the Queen of Wands is still spying on you and you're just waiting for that energy to go away so you can put into work. You can put in work where you truly want to put in work. With that, if that's this seneschal over here or if that's a new person, everyone's gonna have a different story. But that's what I'm getting, Capricorn. So I feel like this was all a means to crush the ego in some sort of way. And the ego was associated with fear. The ego was associated with, you know, whatever your fear was telling you at the time, like, oh, you're running out of time, or, you know, whatever the fear was. I don't know what the fear was, but yeah, your fantasy is still pure and your fantasy is still real and your dream is still real. The 10 of Cups does exist, but you're just realizing it's not with this person. And again, why did this all happen? I think it was because you had to really, I think you gave up on yourself at some point at the same time, right? Like your ego kind of was just like, forget about it. Like, I think you lost yourself. Like, you definitely lost yourself along the way, Capricorn. But I see you fixing it. So let's see if there's any divine feminines for you, Capricorn. Yeah, and these two fell out, the 5 of Cups and the 6 of Coins. So yeah, you're gonna go towards a relationship where you feel like you're gonna have reciprocity, and maybe that's what you felt like you weren't getting from this Queen of Wands. Like, there was no reciprocity, there's no equal give and take. Maybe this person like gave you the bare minimum, like whatever it was. It's like you can't create the 10 of Cups with someone who's not putting in as much work as you, right? And you're not sad about it anymore, or you won't be sad about it soon. Because again, this is a learning process. And look, what's at the bottom of this deck is the dog. Dog spirit, be loyal to what you love. Yeah, I feel like you're being loyal to your fantasy, right? You're being loyal to your dream. You're being loyal to a soulmate. Even if it's not the old soulmate, even if it's a new person, that's what you want to achieve. So that's the type of person that you need in your life. And again, this is a 10, so it's the end of a cycle. And the ending, with an ending comes a new beginning, right? So I'm getting two things. Capricorn, you have Meow Shan, the Princess of Mercy. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. So again, I don't think you were getting the reciprocity or the type of relationship that you needed to get to this fantasy with this person. And I feel like that's, again, giving is receiving. Maybe you were over giving with this person and you were just giving to a person who wasn't necessarily giving you anything back in return. There was no reciprocity, but you kept giving to them because, again, you wanted to make this work so badly because, you know, you want this fantasy. You know, there's an idea that you want to bring to life. There's this dream that you want to bring to life. It's that 10 of Cups. But again, you're just not finding a way to that 10 of Cups. And you think like anyone will just be able to fulfill that role. If you put 100% in, and this person puts 10% in, you're like, it'll be enough, right? But no, like it can't work like that. There needs to be someone who gives as much as you give. And with the energy of the universe is merciful, if you're trying to go back to someone in the past, I feel like they will forgive you. If you need to forgive yourself, then you should do that first. But there's something here about mercy. And I feel like, again, if you're trying to go to someone in the past, they will forgive you. That's what I'm getting with this. And now with Yeji Zogyal, Lady of the Lotus Born, embodiment is the deepest bliss. My body was made for enlightenment. Okay, so I feel like, again, your body was made for enlightenment. That's something, again, that I feel like they're trying to say here with this authenticity card and the strength in reverse. They're trying to give you the idea that, and even with desire in reverse, your body, I'm getting a lot of things with this. Your body is kind of like that signal, right? And I feel like you've been ignoring that signal that your body sends you. So if you ignore the signal long enough, I feel like the signal kind of stops, right? Like you have to listen to your body. You have to listen to like what's, again, they say like, again, if you get like that bad instinct, it's like an instinct, yeah. If you get that bad vibe from a person, and you don't know why you're getting a bad vibe, then you should just walk away. You know what I mean? And you don't have to have a reason, a concrete reason as to why someone gives you like a bad vibe. You just have to listen to that idea that's in your brain, in your head, right? It's not even your brain, it's in your body. It's an instinctual feeling. So I feel like this is a new way of you being. And I think in the past you listened to fear. So your fear was running your body. And I think that's what led you into this mess in the first place. Fear was the prime, like, current through your body, and that's all you used to listen to. But that's not the same thing as having an enlightened body and being present with like all the feelings and all the emotions and knowing which one is fear and which one is actual, like, I don't know what's opposite of fear, just like being okay and being in the present and not running because of fear. I feel like fear was a motivator for you in the past, and it can't be anymore. Not if you want to run to be in the right direction, not if you want this 10 of cups. And what I'm getting with Yaji Zogyal, another thing I'm getting with embodiment is the deepest bliss. There's something about them having to like crush this ego so that you can be free of the ego, so you can listen to that instinct, like the true instinct, not the fear instinct, but the instinct of like, I don't know how to separate the two in my, like, with words, but there's an instinct of fear and there's this instinct of like desire, right? And then like there's many ways that our body can feel. And I feel like, again, you were just running on fear for such a long time, and now it's time to run on something different. And I think you understand that. And the last thing I'm getting with this embodiment is that you need to take care of your body. So it doesn't matter how hard the cycle was. If you're not drinking any water, if you're not working out, and if you're just like slumped in bed, not feeling good, and like maybe even depressed, that's not going to get you anywhere. You know, like you have to pick yourself up and forgive yourself and now move forward. So yeah, take care of yourself, guys. I love you. I hope this helps, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.